Hi, everybody. Welcome. How are you? So, Chantal was missing for a few days. Nobody knew exactly what was going on. Was she on her way back to Kuwait, to Salah? Was she still in Canada? Everybody was betting that she was on her way back. She posted a very short vlog. And as far as the vlog goes, you can schedule videos to go live at a certain time. So she might be on her way back now, but the title of the vlog was Last Vlog in Canada. And I'm not going to lie to you, there's large portions of the vlog that are kind of boring, and Chantal herself has to know that it's crap content, but she's going to post it anyway. But I've got a lot of thoughts, so I wanted to post it into a react. Before we get into the vlog, though, let's cover some stuff that I found on Twitter. So let me just go ahead and get into it. Okay, and getting to the Twitters right now. So those of you that want to find me on Twitter and follow me on Twitter, it's Wild Girl Sarah. And if you want to make sure that you get notifications for my live chats or my videos, I do urge you to join me on Twitter, because sometimes YouTube, they drop the ball on sending out notifications. I don't know why. If you do more than 3 videos a day, they don't send notifications out anyway. So if you're on Twitter, you want to join me there, you know where to find me. So we're here on Twitter. Let me show you what I found on Twitter that I'd like to share with the rest of you. Okay, so this is from Perfectly Imperfect, saying, so Foodie Beauty blames smoke in the green on the trauma of living in Canada. If this was the case, explain getting high in Thailand. Yeah, because you're not in Canada. So what was the trauma in Thailand? You'd never been there before. Yeah, so she was in Thailand, and she self-confessed that she was partaking of the green in Thailand. So what was the excuse there, Foodie? Care to explain? No? Nothing? Okay, we'll save that question for later. Another one from Perfectly Imperfect, saying, if Foodie is currently en route to Kuwait, what happened to all the green she purchased 2 days ago? Airport security better check her bags. Well, I noticed something about the green. I noticed that the green that she bought, it wasn't in smokable form. And she bought little baggies of gummies. And as I understand it, you can only get a certain amount dosage with the gummies. So if she wanted to take more, she would have to buy more of the lower dose gummies. And she basically probably consumed them all. Like we remember Chantal when she was in Canada and she was at the villa, she was consuming massive, ridiculous amounts of gummies, like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 milligrams at a time. And that's just absolutely insane. But I've also got a working theory on why she was buying the gummies. And here's my theory. If she was staying with her mother at her house, which she said she did, and she did not want her clothes to smell of the green smoke, of course she's going to take the gummies, because there's no lingering smell of the green on your clothes. So maybe she was just trying to hide the fact that she was doing the gummies from her mom and possibly her stepdad. So that's just my working theory. But I think all of the stuff that she bought at the green store, it's already gone. It was probably gone that night. I mean, she can just wolf it down, son. Like, she has no control. Here's something from Hidden Truths, saying Foodie Beauty cut her trip short because of your cheating husband. Now you have to go babysit him. So this is a clip from the vlog. Let's watch together.
I canceled the clinique, but it might be on its way. So the customer service said,
Okay, you know what? This little clip, she kind of tells on herself. Don't we love that about Chantal? She lies, but then she tells on herself. Always telling on herself. That's why she shouldn't lie, because she's a really bad liar. She can't remember the things that she says. But in this vlog that I'm going to react to, she's going to talk about how she ordered a bunch of stuff, ordered a bunch of Clinique and stuff from Amazon, and now she has to go back and uh, cancel the orders. That kind of points in the direction that she actually wanted to stay longer in Canada. And now, because of the Salah scandal, she's having to go back early. Like she's switching around the narrative of like, I wasn't intending to stay, I missed my husband. But if you were missing your husband, then why were you ordering all this stuff? Clearly you were wanting to stay in Canada a little bit longer for whatever reason. But keep going, Foodie.
If it comes, just refuse it, send it back. And also the Pennington things, well, I'll have to get someone to return them for me, I guess, because I think shipping to Kuwait will just be too complicated and maybe too expensive, not worth it. So, but I did get enough, some clothes and things like that. So yeah, I didn't really think of that when I had Salah book me the flight home. Um, so I was like, oh no, everything I.
So basically, she's saying she didn't have a round trip ticket. Like she talks about how much she loves her man and how devoted she is to her man. So it was a one-way ticket. If Salah had to buy her return ticket, that tells me it was over, right? Because you want to go back, don't you have a round trip ticket? Don't you know when you're going back? So everything is pointing in the direction of it was a one-way flight. You were intending to stay in Canada. But then once you once you found out what Salah was doing, now you're running all the way back to Kuwait, even though you don't have to. So between the packages that she bought that now have to be returned, and now she's saying Salah has to buy her ticket back, it all sounds like she had no intention of going back to Kuwait.
Everything I ordered because he's like, did you get all your deliveries? No, I didn't. But I'll send them back, I guess. It sucks because I really wanted some of those things. You know, the Clinique, you buy a certain amount of money, you spend a certain amount of money, and you get a free gift bag full, like with 5 free samples. So, and their samples are pretty big. Like my favorite perfume, my signature scent always used to be Clinique Happy, and they have a new Happy. It's like cookies and something. It's like a sweet. I wanted to try it so bad. I'll see if they have a clean. I don't know if they have one there in Kuwait, but they have a.
Chantal, I'm going to say something right here before we get deep into the react. You don't have to go back to Kuwait. It's not a have to thing, it's a want to thing. And the want to is all based on your insecurity and jealousy and the fact that you are obsessed with Salah. And for the life of me, I don't understand why, other than the fact that you are alone and there's nobody else. I mean, granted, there's Pete's, but you've already conquered that mountain and you don't want it anymore. You want what you can't have. You don't want what you can have. Like that's the appeal of Salah. You want what you can't have. And the very idea of another woman or women talking to Salah is enough to make you just leave Canada far too early. But yet, are you thinking about what's going to happen when you go back? Like, what is the atmosphere going to be like? I just got this fly that won't leave me alone. Quit it. I'm so annoyed with the fly. Anyway, have you thought about the atmosphere that's going to be there when you go back? Like, for real. You're not in a good place. He's not in a good place. You got online and you embarrassed him. You said some things. You revealed some things. Salah was talking to another woman and saying some very explicit, dark fantasy things. But you confirmed that those text messages and those things were not made up. You could have said that, but you didn't. So Salah is embarrassed, and he has a family in Kuwait, and I'm sure his family matters a great deal to him. So there you are, embarrassing him on the internet. And you want to go back to that. You want to go back to that atmosphere of you're not in a good place. You know it's not going to be good. He's agreeing for you to be there, but he's not going to be happy. Neither one of you is going to be happy. It's a recipe for disaster. You don't have to go back. But you're doing it. To do what? To sit on the couch next to him 24 hours a day, holding him hostage at the house, making sure he goes nowhere and talks to no one. That's not going to bode well. It really isn't. Consider the fact that maybe the reason he was able to put up with you for over a year was because he did have his alone time away from you to blow off steam. But what happens to steam in a pot if you don't release the pressure? It builds up. It builds up and builds up until there's an explosion. You told us you don't know Salah, and I believe you. You said, I didn't know there was this side to himself. Well, if you didn't know that side, there's a potential that you don't know the other sides either. He might be that quiet guy that has a very explosive temper when he gets pushed too much. And you being in his face, being as you are, insecure, jealous, throwing temper tantrums. You've been in Canada for over 2 weeks, getting your body used to certain party favors, and you're going to go back there fiending for them because you're not going to have access to them, which means you're going to be extra irritable and mean and nasty. The pressure is going to build up really, really fast. There's going to be fights. There's going to be arguments. Like he might reach his breaking point with you. And in my opinion, that's not a safe environment for you. So you have the chance to not go back, to just cut this whole thing off and say, hey, we're done here, and figure something out. But you don't want to because you're so desperate to hang on to him. Your stupid knows no bounds. Hidden Truth says, Foodie Beauty, she only had a one-way ticket because she planned to stay. Salah cut her trip short but lied, saying she was going to home sooner before that happened anyway. Why lie about it? She can't help herself to be truthful. Salah ruined your plans. Now you're running home. The thing is, though, I hate her saying that. I hate her saying, oh, it's my home. Kuwait is not your home, Foodie. What did you have in Kuwait? You had a paid-for companion. You had a cat that you really didn't care about. You had a hamster you didn't care about. A rented apartment. Like, what is there that you can't let go of? I'm sure that Salah could find Julia a wonderful home. Same for Harry. And he can move on and do his own thing. What have you left there that you can't leave behind? You left behind the villa in Canada. You left behind Pete's and cats that you own for years. Why can't you look at this thing and say, it's not good for me. I'm going to start over again back in Canada. Let's see. Let's watch the clip.
But they have a lot of luxury stores. So we'll see. Anyway, so yeah, he booked the ticket for me because like I didn't have a return ticket when I came here because I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I thought I was
I'm just theory time. I'm wondering if Chantal was waiting until her next payday to get the return flight. If she was going to go back at all. Like, she just got paid not too long ago, and she should have money to get a return flight. Why is Salah paying for the return flight unless she's broke? She doesn't have any money.
going to be staying for a little while. And then eventually I changed my mind. I was like, I'm going back anyway. Even before everything happened, I was going back. So then
I don't think so. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I don't think she knew if she was going to go back. Allah, Salah's friend, he mentioned a little while ago that there was like a year-long agreement between Foodie and Salah. Well, that year has passed. So I guess if that's true, the agreement is up. Like if there was some sort of a contract between the two of them, it's done and over with. So what I was thinking is that she was supposed to go home and not go back. But for some reason, she's just in a hot fire hurry to get herself back over there when really she shouldn't. From the text messages that Salah was sending to Kai Bella, he was planning on Foodie staying gone for a very long time. That's why he was feeling free to talk to other women. And the way she's talking, she was planning on staying in Canada long enough that she was ordering things off of Amazon and going to have packages delivered. So they both were planning on her being away. But for some reason, it's just appropriate to go back to a volatile, hostile environment, I guess.
Then, but now I want to go back sooner because I just can't. I just like when you go through something in your relationship, I just want to be there to like, reconcile. It's better to do everything in person, and be there and just get back home and back into the groove of things.
That's not your home, though. When you're in Canada, that's your home. Canada is your home. Kuwait is not your home. You never had a home there. You were on a tourist visa. You were visiting the country. And no matter how many times you go back and forth, doing visa runs, you're always just a visitor. Tell the truth, Foodie. You were never married to Salah, and you're not a resident. Therefore, you cannot stay there full time. And from the sounds of it, even after a year, he doesn't have any fondness for you to turn you into a relationship. He's not in love with you. Honestly, you're not in love with him. It's an ego thing. I don't want it, but I don't want anybody else to have it. I don't like the idea of another woman talking to or being near a man that is attractive. So I'm going to keep that attractive man close to me, even though he doesn't love me. What was that you said a while ago? All he has to do is fake love me. Well, fake love is not real love, is it? It's phony. It's not real. You've been paying all this money, all this time for love that isn't real, when you could have taken that money and bettered yourself with it. I mean, just the initial payment, $9,000, $10,000. Girl, you could have gotten your own place in Canada, got yourself straight, kept doing content. You would have been fine. But you just decided to go to Kuwait, and your health got worse. Your channel's gone down the toilet. And here we are. Here we are.
So, that's it.
Okay, this is another one from Hidden Truths. Foodie Beauty. She's high again. She's hyper. When she says she's hyper, she's high. Yeah, like listen, I've been reacting to Foodie for a while, and she used to say that a lot when she was on the Coco. I'm hyper. I'm hyper. She's not naturally hyper. And she's certainly not eating any healthy food that would make her feel energetic. So when she says she's hyper, she's doing a little something something to give her energy. But let's watch the clip.
I get distracted easily. Anyway, so yeah, I'm just craving something like easy on my stomach, and I'm not vegan, but sometimes I love to eat vegan food.
Really? You don't love to eat vegan food. You tried that, Foodie. You don't like vegan food. No. I don't believe that lie. No, ma'am. No, like if you're such a vegan food lover, why is it all the mukbangs you did were always fast food? None of it was vegan food. None of it. But I'm going to say something else and you're not going to like it, Foodie, and I don't care. I don't care. Ma'am, when you're over there saying, I'm not hungry, I don't feel hungry, you know where that points in the direction of? The last time you said that, the last time you had that attitude was when you were with Natter and you were doing the cocoa. Yes, ma'am. You have an out of control issue with food. You're always thinking about food. You are hyper fixated on food. You have a channel where the content is food, and then you get in a live chat and you talk about food with your subscribers. They talk about food with you. And what ends up happening is that you eat food on camera at that moment or later. Like you keep yourself surrounded with the object of your fixation. You're never away from it. But the only way you've ever been able to stop yourself from feeling hungry is when you're doing the cocoa. So she's hyper, she's feeling energetic, and she's not hungry. Hmm. Yeah, you went to go see Natter or somebody else for that cocoa, didn't you?
Just basically, you know, especially if it's prepared in a very delicious way and I don't have to do anything. All right. That made me hyper. Actually, I'm just happy that I didn't binge eat last night or the night before. It makes me happy because
So
it's
I'm glad she didn't have a bee moment. I'm very happy she did not have a bee moment. But as someone that I've been there, I got questions. I do. I have questions of, okay, so you didn't have a bee moment. What stopped you? What stopped you from having a bee moment? You're not talking about, well, I was wanted to have a bee moment. I was thinking about it, but then something stopped me. And here's what stopped me. Was it a coping mechanism? Was it a coping skill? Did you talk to somebody? What blocked you from having a bee moment? Now, we all know that you went to the green store and you got the edibles. But the thing with edibles is if you got a problem with food and if you do too much of them, that will trigger a bee moment. So, what could you take and what could you do as someone you've never been to therapy and you don't want to go, as someone that you've never been to inpatient and you're never going to go? What stopped you from that bee moment? I'm going to take a wild guess in the dark. The cocoa. I That's the only thing in Chantal history that has ever kept her away from food. The only thing. That was the only thing she lost weight on. It blocked those thoughts of food, gave her energy, although it led to nasty crashes later on, the attitudes. But like, yeah, if you're doing the cocoa in Canada, Chantal, and you fly back to Kuwait, you're on your way right back now. Salah's going to have a lot to deal with.
very hard for me not to do it. It's very hard. It's like pretty much like a restless night of just thinking, do I get up and go eat? Do I get up and go and microwave a plate of cheese or no? Do I get up and go microwave a plate of cheese or no? And the answer last night was no. Anyway,
You know, if she has some kind of willpower to stay away from food in Canada and party favors are not involved, I'm glad. But she's going back to Kuwait. The tension is going to be super high. Chantal eats her feelings, and she's going to be all in her feelings in Kuwait. That's going to lead to a lot of B moments, a lot of them. If you're leaving Canada with no willpower, with no coping mechanisms, no coping skills, not having gone to therapy, you're going to go back a mess and it's going to be more messy.
so hyper.
Yeah, and by the way, Chantal, we've all been noticing in your live streams, especially that one where you were raging at everybody, including FFG, like you were doing more of the nose huffing and wiping at your nose. And that's classic Villa Chantal. We remember, we remember very well. You always blowing your nose, wiping at your nose, huffing at your nose. You're doing something. I mean, it's been 2 weeks. When you first got back, you blamed it on the weather. And I said, that could happen. You know, going from one climate to another, that could happen. But it's been 2 weeks. So the nose huffing, the hyperness, staying away from food, yeah, like it's all pointing in the same direction here. It is. This is from Queen of W2ETF. Chantal is a little reward for the cheating hubby. Let's hear.
I'm very excited to get home, as I've said every video, so you know now. I got some lingerie also at Pennington. I'm very excited.
She says she bought some lingerie. Well, what do you say to that? you know, I mean, Chantal, you got online, you embarrassed him. He's not happy with you, nor you are with him. And you're buying lingerie? So you're going to go from an atmosphere of hostility and tension to let's have sexy time? Or is the feeling he effed up and now he has to pay the price? Since he effed up and he got caught, that means he has to be intimate with me. And you're just preparing for the big night. Ugh. Like, hey, I would not want to be intimate with somebody that I know does not want to be intimate with me, but maybe you have a different kind of mentality. I don't think you should be buying lingerie. I think you should be worried about what you're walking into. Because, like I said, you don't know him. There are sides to him that you're not aware of. An explosive temper could be one of those sides. You could go to Kuwait thinking you're going to be in control. But here is how I feel it's going to play out. You are going to go back. You're going to feel in control. You're going to think that you're going to have him on a short leash, that he's going to give you all the control. And it might be okay for about a week, maybe a week and a half. But if you stop him from going to see his family and his friends and you're hounding him too much, the table is going to flip around and he's going to explode all over you. He's going to look at you and say, listen, I'm tired of you hounding me. I'm going to go and do what I want. I'm going to say what I want. You don't have a home back in Canada, but I could easily go stay with family or friends right now. I can pack my bag and leave right now and leave you all alone in Kuwait. As far as partners, I've got options. You don't have any. If you did, you would have stayed in Canada and found them. So who's in control of who now? I mean, that Uno reverse card is going to come out at some point, and you're not going to like it. You're not going to like it at all. But everybody's been telling you, don't go back. Stay in Canada. Take care of your health. Do what you need to do for yourself. But you're not thinking about yourself. You're thinking about holding on to somebody that really doesn't want you. That's the most important thing to you versus yourself. And you might be walking into a whole lot of trouble. Okay, one last thing from Gazer. I love this. It says, speak the truth, even if your voice shakes. I love that. I just absolutely love that. Okay, so that's it for all the Twitter stuff. So let me just go back over here and pull up Chantal's vlog. Like I said, there's not much to it. And Chantal, even you know this vlog was crap. You have to know this vlog was crap. Boring. But we're going to review it anyway. So let's get to.
In Ottawa, I used to go to the kitchen. Well, this was like that. That level. But the tofu is the best tofu I've ever tried.
Can I just give my observations here? Like throughout this vlog, and I did watch bits and pieces of it, I felt a sense of nervous energy. Like I think deep down inside, Chantal knows this is not the best decision to make. She already knows it's going to be bad, and yet she's going to continue to do it. She's going to follow through with it. Like this trip back to Kuwait is going to be much different than the others. Because the first two trips, everything was fine. This trip, she's walking into a hostile environment. She's ticked off Salah. She's insulted Salah. She's embarrassed him. The energy is going to be different. And she knows it. And she's on edge. And yet she won't cancel the doggone trip.
My entire life. It's like they call it a smoked tofu. So they probably put like, I don't know if they put like liquid smoke or smoke flavoring or smoked paprika. But let me tell you, I need to get a bottle of smoked paprika to bring back to Kuwait in case I don't have it because it was the best tofu. I'm gonna rant about this tofu all day. And
Like, are you guys watching her? Like the darting eyes and just like the jittery energy. That's exactly what it is. It's jittery energy. Now I don't know if that's from party favors or just her knowing like I'm going back and I really shouldn't go back, but maybe it's a combination of both.
I have a takeaway bag. So I got the rest of my salad because it's quite a huge bowl and there's brown rice and lots of greens, a lot of chewing involved, and I just wanted to get on with my day. I have so much to do. In the final days, yeah. So, um,
What all have you got to do? Like, it's not like you're packing up a house and putting things in boxes. What all do you have to do? You're staying with your mom. What all do you have to do? Like, say goodbye to Buster. He doesn't want you there anyway. Say goodbye to your family. They probably didn't want you at the house anyway. What all have you got to do? You got yourself some clothes. Maybe you need a few supplies. You got your car. You can spend a day running around. What all do you have to do? There's not much to do.
because I anticipated being here for a little while, right? So, all right, now I got the rest of.
Honestly, Chantal, if you wanted to stay in Canada, you said for a little while longer. I don't know what that means. Like a week longer, a couple of weeks, a month. I'm thinking you wanted to stay until your next payday, but you're canceling that to go back early. I would think if you and Salah are having problems, like there's some bad energy going on, it might be beneficial to wait. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. If there's bad energy right now, stay away from it as long as you can. And that way things are calmer when you go back.
my salad, which had like a piece of tofu left, and then I got an extra side of tofu and an extra little dressing because I found I could use a bit more tahini dressing. So, um, tahini is sesame seed paste, so it's a very healthy
Chantal,
fat.
Chantal,
Uh,
Chantal, you're taking entirely too long describing a salad. This is your vlog. Do you watch other people's vlogs? They're interesting. They contain interesting things. Obviously, you've got nothing to talk about because you're going overly long about a salad. Not that there's anything wrong with a salad. I'm sure salads are fantastic, but you've got nothing to say. You just wanted to make a quick video to post up to make a little bit of money before your trip. And you've got nothing to show us, even though you're in Canada. You can show us all kinds of interesting things, like just make the most of your trip, get all kinds of footage, put it all on on your phone. That way you've got plenty of footage for possible videos in the future. You're not making the most of your time there. You're just effing around.
so I just got a little extra one, and I'm gonna have that for dinner later. And I think in between, I'm gonna get a kale juice because I'm just feeling like eating like super green today. I don't know why, but
Okay, I'm going to say something. So we saw the clip where she talked about getting lingerie for Salah. And she's been drinking a lot of kale juice. I am wondering if the fact that Salah was caught talking to Kai Bella in a very explicit way, if she is thinking to herself, well, I'm just going to try to get myself healthy and lose weight, and I could be more appealing to Salah, and that way he might want to be more intimate with me. Maybe that's where her thinking is going.
but you know what it is? Yesterday's lunch, the Indian food was so good, but that's the first time that Indian food has upset my stomach, and I think it's a bit heavy with the medication I'm on. Like I'm on.
Now, I've heard something about metformin that when you eat healthy, your tummy doesn't have as many issues. Those of you in the comments, if you've ever taken metformin before, if you know more about it, please let me know. I would love to be educated. But I have heard that you get an upset tummy and you have intestinal issues when you eat things you're not supposed to. That's when you get possible diarrhea and all of that. So, were you eating things you weren't supposed to, Chantal?
There's I'm on a medication that has metformin in it, and it really
Excuse me.
that restaurant lost their shrub.
Excuse me.
Attention, we have a fallen shrub. I get distracted easily. Anyway, um, so yeah, I'm just craving something like easy on my stomach, and I'm not vegan, but sometimes I'd love to eat vegan food. Just basic.
It's funny how her cravings didn't pop up for healthy food until this whole thing with Salah. Before the Salah scandal, she was craving all the unhealthy food. Then after the scandal, suddenly she's all about, let me eat something healthy. Isn't that strange, y'all? These cravings for healthy food did not pop up until after that. Maybe it's related to him.
You know, especially if it's prepared in a very delicious way and I don't have to do anything. All right, that made me hyper.
Chantal, when you were in Kuwait, Salah tried to get you to eat healthy. You had those meals that were delivered to your house that were healthy. You tried eating those. You didn't stick with them. As a matter of fact, you were ordering double portions of those healthy meals just to feel satisfied. You also confessed in a video, it was the one where you were wearing the floral abaya, that you had a bee moment because you ate the healthy food and you wanted something else. So you went wild and eating other food. You got a very severe problem with food, and you've got to go beyond just eating healthy, because the stomach is not the problem. The mind is the problem. That's where the problem lies. That's the root of it. And until you pull out the root, the problem is going to keep growing and growing and growing and just consuming you and consuming your life. Like these little simple things are not going to work. It's your problem is complex. The treatment is going to have to be complex.
Actually, I'm just happy that I didn't binge eat last night or the night before. It makes me happy because it's very hard for me not to do it. It's very hard. It's like pretty much like a restless night of just.
I don't know if Chantal is using the cocoa in Canada to keep herself away from food. But if she goes back to Kuwait, unless she has access to it there, which is going to be a lot tougher for her. In any country, you can find whatever you want. It's just some places that might be harder than other places. But if she's using the cocoa to stop herself from eating, to control her eating, when she gets back to Kuwait, if she doesn't have that same thing keeping her away from food, she's going to go wild. Absolutely wild, especially in that hostile environment that we talked about. So trying to use the cocoa to lose weight, it's not a good plan. You're depending on something to stop a problem that is in your head that needs to be dealt with. And you can stay away from food for a while with the cocoa, but once the cocoa is run out, you're going to have a severe B moment, guaranteed.
Thinking, do I get up and go eat? Do I get up and go and microwave a plate of cheese or no? Do I get up and go microwave a plate of cheese or no? And the answer last night was no. Anyway,
maybe the reason why you weren't microwaving a plate of cheese is because you live with your mom right now. And I just can't imagine being her mom and the stepdad and being sound asleep. And then you hear somebody tottering around in the kitchen making all kinds of noise. That would make me real grumpy if somebody woke me up like that. Maybe that's what stopped her from microwaving that cheese.
so hyper. Viva la kale, viva la kale. I'm starting to like kale, but if it's okay, I don't like kale and I don't like quinoa if it's the only thing I eat. I gotta have balance. Yeah, you got to add some like veggies, onions, maybe some feta, maybe some pumpkin seeds, maybe some chicken, proteiny stuff, healthy protein. We have a huge health arc to do, guys. Oh my goodness. Starting slow with
You
just
know, if you did a health arc, I would applaud that because you need to take care of yourself. But I'll be honest with you, Chantal, I don't give you much hope just because of the environment that you created on your channel. There are beezers that would back up your healthy eating and healthy living, absolutely. But you have an obsession with food and you talk about food. And there are people in your audience, they talk about food and they want to see you eat the tremendous amounts of food. Plus, come on now, mama. Come on. You've got feeders in your audience. They want to see you eat. That's what they pay for. That's why they come see you. They want to see you eat those big meals. That's what makes them happy. You might be doing videos on Cameo to cater to some of those people. You have feeders in your audience, and they might be the ones giving you some money on the side or money on your site. And if you don't do what they are wanting you to do, they might go away. And your entire income is YouTube. So, in order to get away from those people and to get away from the fast food, you're going to have to change your content entirely. And you might take a hit, you might take a loss in income. And can you afford that? And again, the hostile environment where you eat your feelings, you're going to be all in your feelings with Salah. He's going to be all in his feelings. How are you going to keep away from the temptation when you're using food for comfort and medicine? Not going to be easy.
just not binging at night, please. Inshallah. All right, I got to go to the dollar store because we don't have a dinar store.
What?
Because one dinar is almost $5 Canadian, right? So we don't have a dinar store there. We have like stores that have like reasonably priced things, for maybe like 1 KD, 2 KD kind of thing. So, but don't let it deceive you. 2 KD means like almost $10. So
Yeah, that's interesting. Didn't you tell us that it was cheaper to live in Kuwait than Canada? When you're now self confessing that your Canadian money is a lot less valuable than the Kuwaiti dinar. So it's more expensive to live in Kuwait than Canada because the currency conversion.
dollar store is dollar store. I want to hit a Dollarama and I want to see what they have, like just some things that super cheap, like maybe sponges. I like the sponges they have there to do the dishes. Maybe some like organizational bins. Um, they have a lot of them there, so I'm gonna see if they have the folded ones and if they can fit in my luggage. I hope so. Yella, let's go. Follow me around today. Yay! Let's go for a drive, guys. And just so you don't think I'm not wearing my seatbelt, I'm wearing my seatbelt properly, and I'm not gonna look at the camera. I'm gonna drive and let you guys observe the atmosphere with me. Atmosphere, whatever. All right, yella, 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 yella. Oops. Are you gonna let me in? Twice. Okay.
By the way, Chantal, you want to call yourself a vlogger, but this ain't it. You can film footage and you can cut out the boring stuff. This would be considered boring stuff. Just going for a drive. You're really not showing yourself going anywhere, just driving down the street. This is lazy.
I'm nice. I let people across. There's the mall we're passing. On the left used to be a Sears. Now it's who knows what. Yalla.
Okay, I'm not doing this. Like, she's driving and she's probably not going to say anything. So let's just skip ahead. Okay, more lazy footage. More lazy footage. Showing herself in the store, putting things in a cart. More lazy footage. No talking. Let's get past all of that because I really don't care. Let's cut that out.
I did get a kale juice. It's called Hail to the Kale from Booster Juice. Okay, let's try it. Woo! I don't know what's in it. Kale. There's no sugar. It's just they juice it right in front of you. Kale, green apple, some kind of herb I saw him put in there. Mostly greens anyway. Kale juice. Mm. All right. So I have all my Dollarama stuff. Um, I went to the Dollarama, as you saw in my previous clip, and I just got a few things. I'm not as like impressed as before because when I used to love going, things were like still pretty cheap. Now it's like they wanted $5. It can go up to $5. They wanted $5 for like a small pack of Neutrogena cleansing wipes. Like, no, you're a dollar store. Like, Dollar Tree is always $1.25. I have never been in the Dollar Tree here, and I just Julia's toy. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, these are my last few days here in Canada, and I'm very excited to get home, as I've said every video, so you know now. I got some lingerie also at Pennington's. Speaking of Pennington's, the only
I got a feeling that lingerie is never going to be seen. That lingerie is going to be gathering dust. The atmosphere is going to be hostile for quite a while, Chantal. You're not even thinking about going back there and making sure everything's okay and just feeling things out before you're buying lingerie. So I'm wondering seriously if you're thinking to yourself, well, I'm going to have control of Salah and he's never been intimate with me. And now that all this has happened, he's going to have to be intimate with me. Well, even if it does happen, it's not going to be what you think it is. It's not going to be a hot, passionate, into you kind of night. He's going to be not feeling you, you know? He's going to be, if you make him go through with it and he's not feeling you at the same time he is doing it, he's going to be so resentful and angry at you, like being forced. It's not going to be what you think it is, okay? Just forget the lingerie idea, okay? He's not into you. There's nothing you can do to make him be into you. If you want fake companionship and him just walking beside you and being on camera, fine. But to expect someone who's not attracted to you to do the most intimate of things with you and actually get excited and aroused, it's not going to work. It's going to be a complete disaster. And I really hate this way of thinking that you might have of, oh, like now he has to. So I'm going to buy some lingerie. Girl, don't worry about that right now. Worry about going back to Kuwait and dealing with a very angry, embarrassed man and keeping the peace in the household.
only downfall to this whole thing, leaving early, is that I ordered a ton of after holiday special stuff. I ordered tons of things from Pennington's because right now they have a sale up to 60% off. I ordered a ton of things from Pennington's. I ordered a ton of things from Clinique. Um, I ordered.
But you got your car. Why did you order things from Pennington's? Why not just go there and go shopping? Spending money on shipping when you don't have to. You have your car. Why didn't you just go shopping? You've been in Canada for what, 2 weeks? And if you needed things, why did not just take drives and go get stuff? You have nothing else to do. Like, I don't understand the thinking, like the useless spending, the wasteful spending, buying things and paying the shipping and tax and all that when you could just go get it yourself. Stupid.
Tons of things from Amazon. I was able to cancel most of the Amazon because it hadn't shipped yet, and I think I canceled the Clinique, but it might be on its way. So the lady, the customer service said, if it comes, just refuse it, send it back. And also the pen.
I wonder if she canceled all those orders because she needs the money to travel. That kind of feels like I need money to travel. So to put money back in my pocket, I'm going to cancel these orders so I will have money to travel.
Pennington things, well, I'll have to get someone to return them for me, I guess, because I think shipping to Kuwait will just be too complicated and maybe too expensive, not worth it. So, but I did get enough, some clothes and things like that. So yeah, I didn't really think of that when I had Salah book me the flight home. Um, so I was like, oh no, everything I everything I ordered, because he's like, did you get all your deliveries? No, I didn't. But I'll send them back, I guess. It sucks because I really wanted some of those things. You know, the Clinique, you buy a certain amount of money, you spend a certain amount of money, and you get a free gift bag full, like with 5 free samples. So, and their samples are pretty big. Like my favorite perfume, my signature scent always used to be Clinique Happy, and they have a new Happy. It's like cookies and something. It's like a sweet. I wanted to try it so bad. I'll see if they have a
Okay, something about traveling that I know because I've flown before. There's a lot of things that when you go through security, they won't let you bring into the airport and they will seize if you try to bring it in. And, like you can only have certain things in certain sizes. I would think that perfume would be one of those things that they would seize from her. So you're ordering all this stuff. And if you're planning on staying in Canada uh, for any length of time, maybe you could use them, but you can't take them with you. Like, why not just stay in Canada like you wanted to? What is the rush to go back? You honestly think that Salah is going to be less of a cheater, less of a womanizer if you go back? No, he's just going to be more sneaky about it. You found out about those texts, and within 12 hours, you forgave him. So all that you really taught Salah is be more discreet, be more sneaky, uh, to where things don't come out. And even though you've done something that embarrassed me, I will still forgive you and you'll still get money out of me. So the lesson for him is I just have to be more discreet. And she wants me so bad, she'll forgive me no matter what I do. There's no serious consequences to worry about. You've shown him that. You've shown him that how much power he has over you versus you over him.
clean. I don't know if they have one there in Kuwait, but they have a lot of luxury stores. So we'll see. Anyway, so yeah, he booked the ticket for me because like I didn't have a return ticket when I came here because I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I thought I was going to be staying for a little while. Um, and then eventually I changed my mind. I was like, I'm going back anyway. Even before everything happened, I was going back.
I have to seriously wonder if she came back from Kuwait to Canada thinking that maybe her family would help her out as far as getting a place. Chantal has an active bankruptcy on her record, which, if you're somebody and you're looking to get a place to rent, that just makes it more difficult. Or to make up for that, plus maybe a bad credit score, you have to pay more money. And if she doesn't have more money, then she's screwed. Maybe she was hoping the family would help her out somehow by lending her money to get her own place or being the guarantor on her rent, and they put their foot down and said no. So she came back not having a plan, not having a bunch of money saved, thinking maybe the family would save her once again. And the family said no. They gave her a place to stay as far as sleeping. She had to get out during the daytime, but they were not going to get behind Chantal and fix her messes. And maybe that's the reason why she's going back to Kuwait, because she doesn't have the money to afford a place in Canada right now.
So then, but now I want to go back sooner because I just can't. I just like when you go through something in your relationship, I just want to be there to like, reconcile. It's better to do everything in person.
You know what I think, Chantal? I think both you and Salah have put yourself in a place where you're stuck with each other. I mean, Salah is a younger man. Could he go get a job and make his own money and make his own way? Absolutely. But he doesn't want to. He's lazy. He's got family and friends that if he said, I'm done with Foodie, I'm done, they would probably help him out, give him a place to stay, get him back on his feet. You don't have those options. But he's depending on your money. And until he finds something else that works, he's stuck with you. And you, because of the financial mess that you're in, you have nowhere else to go except back over there. So he's stuck with you and you're stuck with him. You need each other for different reasons. And that's why you're going back.
And be there and just get back home and back into the groove of things. So, um, so that's it. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this little vlog. So before I go, I think I'm gonna
Like, I think she looked at the footage and said, oops, it's not long enough to be monetized. I have to add something else.
show you some places that I used to frequent. I'll at least show you like one thing. All right, Yellow, let's go. Take
You
you.
could have made this vlog so much more interesting by showing us more interesting places, doing things. You're about to leave Canada to go back to Kuwait. Why not maximize the time by driving everywhere and seeing everything? You can't get on your phone and research interesting places in Canada and take us there? I'm sure you could. There's got to be interesting places in Cornwall or Ottawa or Gatineau or something. But you're just basically spinning your wheels waiting to get on that plane.
Out there. All right, I'm getting out of the kale juice area. BK. I used to go for parties in the ball pit at this BK as a kid. That's where all the parties were held. Need some window open a bit. I have memories here, but I don't think I could live here. Visit, absolutely. But, it's, I don't know. Maybe I could. All right.
It's really weird. Like she said in her rage stream that Canada gave her trauma, yet here she is talking fondly about Canada. Chantal, you got to keep the narrative straight, dear.
Let's go. This is the McDonald's here I went to. Um, okay.
Chantal, that right there proves that you're still fixated on food. Anybody else would have just passed right by the McDonald's and not said a word. It's a McDonald's. Who cares? But you have to point it out and you have to talk about it. You're still fixated on food.
This McDonald's I used to walk to with friends basically as a kid.
Nobody,
Not like a
nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Stop talking about it. We have heard far too much about fast food restaurants and the food in them. Nobody cares about the BK. Nobody cares about the McDonald's. Nobody cares about Taco Bell. Nobody cares about KFC. Nobody cares. Stop fixating on the doggone food.
a young kid, but like growing up, like preteen, teen kind of thing, early teen. And they had a sale one day for 58-cent burgers were 58 cents and cheeseburgers were 68 cents. So I went to the
Chantal, do you think talking about 58-cent cheeseburgers in a vlog is going to make it interesting? It isn't. This is you just coming up with all kinds of filler content for this vlog because you got nothing else.
Circle K. At the time, it was Max Milk until someone. And
Moving on.
yeah, I'm going, buddy. Of some kind of pop, I don't remember, maybe 7-Up or something. And I carried it into the McDonald's. I don't know how I was
She's still talking about doggone McDonald's. I can't.
allowed to do that at the time. I had her order maybe 8 or 10. I can't remember.
I am not going to sit here and listen to her talk about McDonald's. I will skip ahead. Okay, we're just going to skip ahead because I don't care about the McDonald's. Is she done yet?
In her in front of her, so it looked like she was eating all the cheeseburgers.
Oh Lord, 3 minutes talking about McDonald's. I can't. Go away.
Remember, I went to a group home when I was 16. Very interesting, eh? Oh my gosh, my stomach hurts. I hate those pills. I can't stand them.
Okay, so your stomach hurts. What did you eat? I know that medication can make the tummy upset. That's normal. It happens to a lot of people. I take any kind of medication. My tummy gets upset. It's sensitive like that. But you were just right by a BK and a McDonald's. And you're talking about your tummy is upset. And you said you ate healthy food and a healthy smoothie. So why is your stomach upset? Did you have yourself a little snack at BK or McDonald's before you began the vlog?
Oh, they hurt my stomach. All right, so let's see. Is the group home on this side? Yes. I used to walk up this hill to go to.
It's funny how she talks about the group home. And from what she's told us, the group home, it wasn't a pleasant experience. She talks about how Canada gave her trauma, but now she's talking fondly about the group home. Again, mixed up narrative.
To high school every morning, listening to A Perfect Circle on my DVD, on my CD player. So let me just see. All right, there it is on the left. So let me just pull over. That's the girl here. She stole my DVDs. My Tupac CDs. And that's the kitchen area. That's the living
if
room.
that's a group home, I don't think it's a nice idea to sit there and film the group home and just, point your camera directly at it and point at it, Chantal. It's kind of rude.
And this is the dining room. So, yep. I stayed there for, I don't know, maybe a year, not even. I can't remember, but good memories there.
You stayed there for a year? You were a bad kid, weren't you? I mean, why else would you stay an entire year? You were a bad kid. Confirmation that she was bad even before YouTube.
Well, yes and no. At the time they weren't so good, but now they are. So I have this makeup bag here that my sister gave me. Thank you, sis. It really helped. I bought some extra cosmetics and things, so but not an extra bag. So she gave me this bag, Juicy Couture, really cute colors, and it fits everything, even my mouthwash. It doesn't look like it, but there's a lot of room in here. You got to get a makeup travel bag like this if you can.
Okay, so that was weird. She didn't even say goodbye to the vlog. She just ended it that way. Like, my sister gave me the makeup bag, click. And I'm sure his sister was like, here, have whatever you want. Just get out of the house. Just go. Get on that plane. We don't want you here. Anyway, that's it for this react. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. Like some closing thoughts for this whole thing. Chantal should not be going back to Kuwait. Worst idea ever. She's going back thinking she's going to be in full control of Salah. And I guarantee you that table is going to flip around and he's going to be in control of her. And she's not going to like it. But she's going back thinking I can control him and he's going to have to give me some sex now. And it's not going to play out the way you think it is, Chantal. It really isn't. It's going to be a hostile work environment. It's going to be a hostile living environment for both of you. The pressure is going to build and it's going to explode. You're both going to be fighting so much. You're going to be miserable. Like if I were you, I'd be worried for my safety. Anyway, that's it for this vlog. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, please like, subscribe, like I said, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.